Hey everyone, welcome to Spiritual Journey. I'm Colleen Jorgensen. Glad you could join me in chatting about this full moon that's coming up at the end of the week on March 14th at 23 degrees Virgo, 56 minutes. So this is a special kind of full moon because it is associated with the total lunar eclipse. We're now entering eclipse season, and this is the first of four eclipses that will happen in 2025. So eclipses generally come in pairs. Well, they do. Sometimes there is a third one. But they usually run either lunar and then solar or solar and then lunar. And so we are in eclipse season as we're about to experience another solar eclipse that's arriving near the end of the month. So we are also beginning the new axis between Virgo and Pisces, which really brings a focus onto the health and healing modalities and the service and faith ideologies. So we open this new energy, and the total eclipse is total lunar eclipse is going to be associated with the south node energy, and the south node is residing at 27 degrees Virgo. And the south node is really a point of release. It's a point of completion, finishing up, and so we can move on to something different. And these portals, these points, are really the intersection between the moon and the earth's energy and the lineup between the sun and the earth and the moon. And when that happens and how close this is going to be. This is a total lunar eclipse. It's going to be visible for the majority of North and South America during the early hours of Thursday, moving into Friday morning. And so the total thing is going to be about 65 minutes for it to all transpire, but it's going to be longer than that. You can just look on NASA and just look under eclipses happening in 2025, and you'll get a really good picture of what that looks like and the duration as well. So if you feel up to it, if you wake up and you want to run outside and have a look at that, as long as the sky is clear, you'll have a really good take on this energy. Now, eclipses are like really active. They heighten the energy of whatever they're touching. They're kind of like wild cards. And this is where pivotal points in one's life begin to take place. Like this is when you get announcements of marriage, the birth of a child, moving. So there's a lot of energy packed into this as the earth comes between the moon and the sun. And in many ways, the south node is kind of like a payback, balancing reconciliation if you've ever done any bookkeeping. And it's a time of completion and kind of closing the door on a chapter in your life in many ways. But they're kind of unpredictable energies. So you got to kind of be prepared. Eclipses can make us very tired. We can feel stressed out, edgy, and a little strung out, maybe don't sleep well, and all kinds of things can arise. There can even be a bit of panic here, or anxiety because of the Virgo connection to this. Now, the last time that this happened was March 14th of 2006. So if you can think back to what was ending and beginning at that time, And it happened at 24 degrees of Virgo, so very close to this same portal of energy. And what was really happening? Can you remember if you were transitioning through the completion of something, the ending, and that you were ready to embark on a whole new journey? So this is the same. It's very much similar energy if you were born at that time. So this is really going to be impactful because it is total. It's a full moon, so we're also reaching this climb crescendo of energy, climatic peak of energy, and it really brings us into awareness and realizations begin to dawn on us that, maybe we need to finish up some stuff. Maybe we're not happy with our jobs. And so solutions to that can actually manifest at this time as well. This is very fast moving energy. It can happen, events can happen a month prior to this March 14th. So February 14th on Valentine's and a month after even. But we start to feel this emotional movement that really kind of drives us, and it's very spontaneous energy that really comes out of nowhere, that really signals a time that I'm done. I'm not doing that anymore. And so we kind of have this South Node energy going, I'm done. This is the completion and the end of this cycle, and I'm not going to participate anymore. Virgo is a really harsh sign. It can be very critical. It can be really nagging, nitpicky kind of energy, but it is the sign of discernment. And it really separates the chaff from the wheat. What is relevant? What is important to the structure of the information? So it really wants to drive down and get to the fundamentals of what the issues really are. So this really signals a time to determine what is important and what is relevant that maybe you want to keep and the rest you just want to shed. So this could be also a time of, getting rid of a lot of stuff that is weighing you down. And so lots of people do that when they move. I don't know why I'm picking up this moving business so much. So, well, there is a lot of movement going to take place here. And we really need to shed in order for us to progress uh, further. So it's like a narrowing and really getting to the heart of the matter, the crux of the matter, and really driving down into that to determine what we really need to address here and what is really just filler in. What is the principle behind what is taking place and why is it being foreshadowed with these other things? So Virgo is the sign of the worker and the hard worker. And so we're prone to burnout here. There's too much work. It's challenging. It's very physical. And we could have problems because of our need to be of service, to let go of some of that work that is overwhelming you. And you could be working really hard, you to come to the realization that you're working and working and working for very little gain, for very little abundance, even though the job you're doing is astounding. You're really wasting too much time and really not getting much out of it. And Virgo doesn't give up easily. They want to complete the job they started and they want to be nice and pleasant as they do it. However, it can get a little bit uh, exhausting because of the need for that perfectionist energy to manifest. And there's whether you're in in a hospital setting and being of service there in the healthcare, whether you're a counselor being of service, whether you're a policeman or EMS or whatever you are doing, this eclipse is going to affect the working man. And so we could see some vulnerability um, and the needs of others, like the layoffs, unemployment rising. Certain individuals can be run ragged with organizing, planning. And it's proud to give energy with Virgo and eager for acceptance. However, the backlash of that is taking advantage of the good services of those who do decide to be of service to someone. This eclipse has a lot of karmic energy associated with this, like that payback or that balancing the accounts. And that is because it's in opposition to a lineup of planets in Pisces, Saturn, the Sun, the North Node, and we even have Mercury that's going to back up there into Pisces and Venus. So there's a lot riding here with the energy of Pisces and especially with the planet Saturn. So this signals kind of a fated or destiny kind of element that's moving through with this eclipse energy. Pisces is from spirit to the physical and from the physical to the spirit, sort of like the womb or the birthing canal, right? So we're really challenged with two types of existence or two types of philosophies or two types of faith that are kind of emerging together. And Pisces is very much about the victim and the savior mentality as well. So we could feel really blocked and stuck with this energy that we really promise something and we can't get out of it, or even in terms of relationships, that you're just drawn to a certain energy that really holds you in place and you could feel kind of stuck in this energy. It's kind of a stagnation, that things are just slowly deteriorating, but you got to stick with it because you promised or the job needs to be finished. And so you really want to release this energy, get it done so you can move on by the end of the month. This is discipline. Put your head down, be responsible, and just do what you need to do to get finished. Time drags here, which makes us really tired as well. And it's kind of depressive when you get the moon in opposition to Saturn and the sun. Leaders at this time could really be a little bit scattered, that there doesn't seem to be a lot of consistency, which really creates an energy for those people out working hard at these jobs that they're doing to feel that energy of depletion, that you're depleted of energy. You shouldn't try not to procrastinate, and you should really try not to be lazy, although it's really easy to be lazy. There's a bit of OCD here, of course, with Virgo, that one thing has to be done before the other thing has to be done. And so if you're waiting for other people, that could also factor in here, that certain standards have to be met. And whose standards are they? Are they yours or are they somebody else's? So this is really a time that we need to watch each other, care for each other, and be of service to each other. We need to watch because of all the Pisces energy that we don't experience some heavy rains of flooding, which could really send us into a lot of work. Leaders seem to be inconsistent, and they could really throw us into a frenzy state. And the working class could kind of get like they got boots on the ground and they're slugging through all this to sort it all out. And what is the purpose behind the mission? Is really about that. Family members here are really demanding and they have really high expectations, which could be impossible to meet. People are acting strange. There's a lot of weird demands here, a lot of weird energy. We're very sensitive and very emotional here. So we could encounter some unusual physical ailments, like such as sensitivity to allergies, pollen, autoimmune diseases, and those types of things could start to filter in, and some strange things happening. Uh, so that is kind of like it's kind of odd, and we have been running into some of those odd diseases. There's a lot of pressure here, and to stay the course and for the potential to be weepy. I can't do it. I'm struggling. And so the good news is the moon is trine to Uranus. So there is something on the other side of that rainbow of all this hard work and depression. And that is the point of release, to be free, to liberate yourself from oppressive conditions and completions of things. And it's really kind of refreshing in many ways. It really produces some unexpected change here. And that's why in relationships, it could be fated that you actually meet somebody out of the blue, and you kind of head into a different direction. There's a lot of changes that are happening here that are very swift and very fast. And, it's to do something out of the ordinary, be original, be authentic, and really be true to what it is that you see that represents freedom and originality and authenticity. So it's really unconventional energy that moves through. The Lord of this eclipse is Mercury, and this is another sticky point because Mercury is about to station retrograde the day after this manifestation of this eclipse. So that standing still in the sky also produces stagnation, hesitation. There's a pause in the decision making, like you just all of a sudden go blank and I don't know what to do next. So this can stop us in our tracks, and because Mercury is neither direct nor retrograde, and it's like a stall or like an indecision point that says, wait a minute, I've got to figure this out before I move forward. It's in the aggressive sign of Aries. So it's all about the personal journey and agenda and those decisions that are associated with that. You're kind of caught here between that staying the course or just completing it, getting it done, and then releasing yourself and moving on. But what does that look like? In the long run. And that's where you could really be challenged. Yeah, I'm going to quit my job. I know it for sure. Or I'm being laid off. But what does that look like in the long run? And that could bring us to a point of delay, and really lagging to some degree that we don't want to finish this up just yet because we don't know where we're going. So commitments must be filled prior to proceeding. And the interesting thing about Mercury as well is it's ruled by Mars, and Mars is still in that protective stance within Cancer, been there for a long time. And it's been in this position since October 7th it moved into Leo for a bit. Now it's back in Cancer. So we're not quite finished up with what was going on last year. This could be property values, housing issues, family, personal issues, who is in our tribe, who belongs to us, and who isn't part of that. So the eclipse is attempting to push forward and slam the door on certain things. So foreign workers, workers here could have some trouble, or that there's a narrowing of the bandwidth of those coming to various countries. Because Mars is ruling Mercury, there's a lot of talk of patriotism, protectionism, countries. Also, this filters into what is best for each country when it comes to tariffs. And there's kind of a selfishness here. And so you get Mercury in square to Mars, and we could have some arguments over this protectionism to do with commerce, shipping, trade, goods and services, because Mercury rules all those things. And then at the negotiating table, things could get quite aggressive in our patriotic stance, which really leads to a slam door. That is there a solution? Is there the ability to renegotiate and come to the table? At this point, I would say no, but Mercury is going to station retrograde, so that is a good sign of reviewing some of these possibilities and negotiations. There's a lot of aggressive talk, a lot of threats that are happening here, but very little action, it seems. And we're a tad argumentative, and we're quick to provocation, and it's heated, it's aggressive, it's threatening almost. So if you're doing that within the family, I would suggest that you try and contain that energy, because with this energy, you're not just going to get the aggressive person on one side and the lay person on the other side that just sucks and absorbs all this. You're going to get a duel happening. You're going to get a fight. And it's going to have long-term consequences, most likely. So this could be the energy that sends us over the edge, putting up barriers, closing doors on some issues, that I'm done energy. There's a kind of a sense of this bullying and who's in position of power and authority. People are really critical, analytical, and they're looking for new opportunities to get rid of the dirty laundry, shed a little bit of energy. There is an urgency to this lunar eclipse, and to break free and go your own way, to unburden, unload the extra baggage, and to just like free yourself up somehow. But yet you got to stay the course. Well, actually, some of you maybe won't be staying the course, but you really need to watch those boundaries. Are you within your own boundaries, or are those boundaries like moving? Especially with leaderships, like they're recently, because of this Pisces energy, are really trying to move boundaries. The United States is trying to annex Canada, and Greenland, and there's boundaries that are just starting to shift. So this is the worm full moon, when the worms start to move beneath the surface and kind of stir things up. Watch, because the moon could get blood red at this time as well. And we have the fixed star of Corcaroli, which is one of the hounds. It's a double star. This is the South Hound. And according to Robson, this is about being faithful, keen, be clever. And if you're going to do any speculation, be solid in what it is that you'd like to invest in. Things are really up in the air nowadays. Have you noticed? Up in the air with all kinds of things. And this is just the catalyst to move some of that energy forward. And so, good luck with all of that. Eclipse energy is really good for any manifestations, and especially this one to sweep something out the door that you don't no longer want in your life. So, do really take some time during this eclipse season, get some extra sleep, be patient with yourself, don't be too hard on yourself. And I'll catch you at the next eclipse. New moon. It's a new moon, partial solar eclipse. Catch you later. Bye.